here comes another page in the coloring book. Bless your heart. Favorite Southern sayings. I already tried to color this with my daughter, and yeah, this is where it's at. So I'm gonna try and repair this page, its colors, its everything, and hopefully make it work better. So I'm gonna try coloring starting up in the top corner, trying to keep track of the entrance of light. Should be from the left up in the window, if that's a window, and then or lights in that room coming through the glass. And that's a yellow glass vase or plastic. It kind of looks plastic. So I'm going to color the shadow behind the wooden spoons and utensils that are sitting in the glass vase or plastic, and hopefully not make too big of a mess. Dark brown is essentially the shadow of most browns. It can be lightened or made even thicker or heavier. You can add more colors to it in case you're working with a specific tone of wood, like redwood would have an oddly reddish dark brown for a shadow, just to accentuate the reflection of the redwood from the light source. This part's going to be difficult because the teapot already has multiple colors on it, where the body of the teapot is, not the patterns. And even the knob doesn't match any of what's already on the teapot. So that was already confusing. An easy answer would be just to scrape as much off with the side of a plastic card and hopefully choose a dark color or blend the colors. If I had an exceptional skill of blending colors, I would be able to tackle this a lot better than what I did. So I started with a knob on top and added purple and was hoping to get a kind of a bead colored gradient to it. And then I was going to work on stuff matching that knob on top, because right now nothing matches, including the weird old purple scribbles all over the bubbles. So filling in these bubbles with the same shadowy blue is going to help match the teapot decoration to the teapot button on top. A little knob that people would grab to open the teapot lid. Now's the point where I figure out what I'm going to put in the center dot and I guess the outer ring of this flower shape. So I'm just going with, I need to add this light blue from the top of the teapot button handle back into the teapot pattern. So I'm going to lightly put on the same dark bluish purple and then add the light blue in the center. So I guess if it were a metallic print on a teapot, some kind of metal burned design, then this would make sense. There would be a light blue reflection of where the flame would cook the metal. But I'm not being super accurate in describing this, so I'm just, hey, it's a coloring page. Here we go. Yay, let's have fun, right? So at this point, I am blending blues and purples, trying to readjust my camera and the light source, and then the cat was jumping on my lap, so I was a little bit busy Then I was also filling in the flower shape around these two center circles as well as the outer circle. And I wanted to at least incorporate the whole flower as a matching pattern to the top knob of the teapot. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to debate on how in the world am I going to make that teapot look right, because brown, hippie, peach smear is with yellow polka dots. It's not right ever. It's just, I don't think that's right. So here we go. We're gonna fill all this in with the blue and then work on the teapot body itself. I care not for the yellow polka dots. They can disappear for all I care, which I don't. And I'm gonna touch up a little bit on top and then work on that outer ring of the lid of the teapot. So that also needs to match the pattern and the button. This is my plethora of wonderful colored pencils that are better quality than Crayola. And most of these are Shutter Art. I guess that's not better quality, but still, I keep them separate from the kids' stuff so that they last longer. That's what makes them better quality. On a more serious note, not dealing with art and coloring, I'll probably make a separate channel for all my personal life blogging, which I don't like getting personal with anyone, so this is going to be funny. I'm probably going to roll my eyes and look like a cross-eyed weirdo and make fun of myself and everybody, so it's going to get comical. It's also going to be emotionally disturbing because I have a lot of health problems, and so literally sitting here right now, I am not doing well, but I'm doing well for where I'm at with my health. So I guess you can say it's not health. I don't know why people call it health care when your health is, it should be like my health is in the dump. I need to go to the dump to get health care. I don't know, should rename the healthcare system. Because it's not really caring for the health I have, it's dealing with stuff that's wrong. So, yeah. That's me with stupid comments. I'm back to coloring. This is much more mature. So I've used a silver pencil to go over the top of the brown, peach, and yellow polka dotted teapot. And that's the closest thing I could think of to get it to look like a metal teapot. So the brown, yellow, peach smudge can be in the background, hopefully covered by a shiny surface. Maybe that will make things better. It did dawn on me to just get out the black colored pencil and call it good and just charcoal the whole thing, and that might look pretty good with the blue and I guess violet, purplish blue. Now I've run into a problem. Once I finish the teapot, getting its bath of silver, there is the spout. And the spout has absolutely no pattern on it, like the teapot did. So now I gotta make up whatever I did with the teapot onto the spout and hopefully cover that in silver, and it would be kind of matching. We'll see. So I sort of got it matching. Granted, that's just weird. But, okay. Now I've got the outer rim of the lid of the teapot to deal with, and that's fine. I can throw some silver on that, and everything can be chalked up to, hey, this is a really old, muddy-looking teapot. The lighting kept switching from blue light to yellow light. On my camera just picked up different tones in the colored pencils, and the original light that's sitting next to me and the light that's on the ceiling and whatever was reflecting off of whatever into the camera lens is why all of that keeps changing tones. If I had a specific place to work where the lighting was steady, I could pin my drawing down and hook a camera mount to a table. This would all be much easier to watch. Obviously right now it's sitting on a book on my lap. I've got 2 light sources. I keep having to move things and change position and change the light and fidget with the camera or my phone, and this is what you get. It's okay for the moment. The crock pot is going to be peach. I think most crock pots should be peach for some reason. It just is the color. Maybe my grandma had one that was peach, and that's what I remember. But anyways, so I went with it, peach, and a pretty, gonna be pink green flower. Those little yellow things. I'm not sure what those are, but I colored them yellow. Coloring in between these little, I guess, grooves in the oops, sorry, not a teapot. This is a slow cooker, a crock pot. Was fun. That was sarcasm. And I threw some shadow on top. The knob on top is probably not the color I wanted. And then the side of it needed shadow because the light source is coming from the left-hand side. So the left side of the paper, probably down onto the teapot. So I did a little shadow in these grooves. I think they are just texture grooves. You wouldn't want actual holes in a crock pot. All the liquids would just pour out. That's kind of silly. Other than that, I did a little orange touch up on the yellow glass plastic vase, whatever. Glass plastic. That is a new thing, glass plastic. Lasts longer than plastic. Doesn't degrade. I'm kidding. And then I went over the pattern of the print on the crock pot. So I picked 3 different greens and just kind of went with the flow with it. I think the bluish green is a good match for the pink and peach. And then I threw in some brighter greens and had a lot more yellow to them. And that would pick up the yellow in the center of the flower and these little swooshy teardrop things that are patterned around the flower. By this time, I've got this flower pattern pretty much taken care of. The center, I thought maybe some more oranges would pick up with the peach pot and the pink flower petals. So I just went ahead with some yellowish orange, went around the petal outline, the center, and a few more outer petals. And just did little touch-ups. Ooh, that one made me nauseous. And put a little bit of yellow around the farthest pink petals. That's the point where I thought, okay, I can take a break, or I can work on some flames that are underneath. This looks like a gas stove that everything's sitting on, and so I would assume blue, orange, and yellow for flames. Just make it kind of colorful. And then I would put probably just the metal ring underneath. I should make that totally black because most gas stoves have wrought iron, I would assume. Some of them don't. I would definitely not go for a gas stove that has any kind of mixed metal, gray metal. I would pick something with wrought iron. Just because that'll definitely take the heat better. And then you don't have to clean it as much. It's definitely more of a tougher surface for flame and for food and scrubbings. So I used to post videos about fixing up my house. I inherited a house, so that means I have like no way of affording much with it, because if I could afford my own house, I would have gotten a loan and bought it. And so, now don't pick on people who inherit their homes. Usually those are the people who would be stuck in rental apartments like everybody else, and paying through the nose forever and dealing with stuff, people not coming to do maintenance when things break, and neighbors and all kinds of parking issues, mailbox issues, getting to work issues, somebody didn't plow the road, can't get out, that type of stuff. So I finally hooked up my page and the light and my phone to my drafting table. This was a gift from my spouse at the time. We're divorced now, but I still like the table. It's not super great quality, but I'm still using it, and I can adjust it, and it's nice color, so I'm gonna keep it. But I finally am using it for what I should be using it for. I feel good enough to not be in my chair and sit on the little wheelie stool and use the table. Now I'm gonna attempt to make this look good. I think what I'm gonna start doing is drawing my own drawing papers. I have a million of these I could still color, and sometimes I color things right. You can see the teapot is a mess, and I colored that all wrong. It's horrible. I like to erase the whole thing, and I could literally erase that whole thing. I'm not sure what that would do to the paper. It might just jam it into weird wrinkles. One thing I don't like is doing voiceovers for these videos. I don't really like my voice. It doesn't sound that great. And the colors I chose for the crock pot, that's nice. And the glass vase with the wooden spoons, that's nice. The flames on the bottom look too candy cane cute, or cotton candy cute, and that doesn't fit with the pattern of anything here, especially the hideous teapot. So I'm going to make the top of the stove black and try to catch the light from the top left. This is going to get messy also, the top of the stove. What I should have done is kept it white and then lightly penciled in spots which would have a hint of gray as in the shadows. And no, I didn't do that. I also didn't color the wrought iron pieces for this gas stove black. I colored the top of the stove black. Okay, so now I'm like, well, whatever. I'm gonna color the top of the stove black and just leave the metal pieces gray. Some stoves that are gas stoves have gray steel for the burners. I'm going with that. And eventually I'm gonna try and put gold on the teapot mixed with all the other colors, and it's just wretched. You know that thing right now, it looks like compost with like weird purple flowers growing out of it. And the handle, the wooden handle looks nice, and the metal arms down to the teapot and the steam coming out. I kept that nice, but for some reason I just murdered that teapot. It's horrible. YouTube's also been quite the butt lately. I have royalty-free music that I have downloaded, and the terms of use allow me free open use, and the license for it is to simply copy that wordage of free open use into the YouTube credits and description. I put them in both places sometimes, and YouTube will still flag the music and say that it's copyrighted, even though the website Pixabay, P-I-X-A-B-A-Y, music, the music section, the terms of use clearly state you can use it on YouTube and, you know, for monetized, which means you make money from videos. And that's the dryer. Okay, so still getting flack from YouTube, and it's literally an algorithm. It's not a real person that's flagging and copyrighting everything. It's a robotic scanning piece of junk that's not updated. So I'm pretty mad. So I literally have to do voiceovers. I don't like my voice. Everybody's probably not going to want to hear my voice with every single video. So gotta make this entertaining somehow. Left the tape on the back of the page. I was using tape to hold it down. I think I'm gonna find a different method of holding the page down on the table. And maybe this will go better. Once I colored the background of this wall blue, I regretted it because I did not want more blue in the picture. Having too many primary colors in a kitchen can make it too heavy of a room. It's hard to walk in there and feel like you can cook. It's more like a living room, like you should sit down and watch TV. So I really don't like super deeply colored kitchens. Grays and whites, metallic colors, ivory, something that's wood colors, that's a good color scheme for a kitchen. Not what I'm doing right here. This is not the best idea. It's just a drawing, so. But it also makes the room look ridiculous. I also did not clean the top of my table before I started coloring. So there's these little bumps under my paper where my colored pencil went over it. And what I'm doing is trying to make the background work now that I've picked blue. An easy fix would to take the eraser and just go over everything. I'm using the blue also on the teapot flowers again. They were really grayed. They were supposed to be blue, but ended up being grayed. And this will slightly help, but absolutely not cure. Like taking medication for chronic illness. Just put some blue over them horrible flowers, and it will magically make things better. Shazam! That's worse. All right, so I'm filling in the blue, carefully coloring at the edges of the paper, not to smudge the corners. Trying to keep the light source coming in through that window, or wherever the light source is. It's right to the left of the glass yellow pot. So there must be a window back there because that's the wall, the blue wall. I should have darkened that with gray. Now that I look at it, it should have been darkened more. The rest of this fun coloring is getting the burners to have shading and reflection, and getting the crock pot to have also its own light and dark, but trying to keep that peach overall ceramic color. I need to completely erase places to make white highlights more visible, or put the white highlights on first and then begin coloring over it and keeping track of where it is so I don't shade it in. Just so the white highlights are pushed more. There's quite a lot to learn, but the more I color, the more I see my mistakes, and the more I get better at making more sound decisions about color choices and shading and texture. So it just takes practice, and that's exactly what this whole book is for, is practicing so that I get better. Granted, it would be better with some music. So here I took the eraser and went over the stuff that I wanted to have kind of a wider highlight. I also went over the hideously forest green countertop back there with a white colored pencil. That way it can just be more smooth because it is a countertop. Here's the final close-ups of the page. This is an overall picture of the whole page, followed by a close-up of the teapot, and then of the crock pot, which I kind of like. And the handle of the teapot I thought was not too bad. And the cutesy little flames of the gas burner. The black stove versus wood countertop part. the top of the teapot, which I absolutely don't like that. And thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and have an awesome day.